IKEA recently released a Billy bookcase with a built-in rolling table. And when I went looking for an assembly video, I couldn't find one anywhere. So I figured I will make it myself. I'm going to show you every step along the way, including the confusing parts, so that hopefully it's a little bit easier for you. And I want to share up front that I have a brain injury, so hopefully my energy holds, and honestly, if I can do this, you can do this. One quick note before we dive into this. My video is going to have two different groups of viewers, and I would like to serve both of you equally well. If you're here because you just bought this bookcase and you need some help figuring out how it all goes together, totally valid, and I've got you. You can check the chapter markers below and jump straight to the sections that you need when you need them. I've marked everything really carefully so you can skip around and find what you're looking for like that. If you're here because you are recovering from a brain injury or a chronic illness and you'd like some encouragement alongside of the instructions, this video is also here for you. My name's Larissa and this is the Concussion Crew, a channel where we usually make life a little bit easier, one small task at a time, and today that task is a big one. Building a bookshelf. Before we dive in, let me show you what I'm working with. I had floating shelves here before and they didn't really work great for me. So when I decided to take on this project, I took them down and I took the screws out, but there are wall anchors still in the wall. I tried to remove one. It was a pain in the butt and I decided, forget it. I don't care. I'm going to be putting the Billy bookcase with the rolling table in the middle and two bookcases, one on either side. It's going to cover this all up, so I don't care what the wall looks like. If you have a similar situation, there's damage on your wall, it's a color you don't really love, but your bookcase is going to be covering it all up and hiding it, let's give ourselves permission to leave it there and never think about it again. We are building a life here, not a showroom. So here's what I'm doing. I am building a half-size wall unit using Billy bookcases. The center is the new one with the foldable table. And then on either side, I found bookcases on Facebook Marketplace for like 20 bucks each. And I got those because I wanted to put doors on them. So I bought new doors so that they would look nice and clean and new. And the bookcases behind the doors, they do have some stickers on some of the shelves, and for a $45 plus tax savings, plus it was already built when I got it home, that was totally worth it to me. Stick around till the end for the full wall reveal. But here's something I want to say up front. If you are dealing with vestibular issues or chronic illness or pain management or low energy or a brain injury like me, this might take you 2 days, and that's okay, right? There is no rule that says that IKEA is going to come and take back your furniture if you don't do it all at once. Do what your body allows, put it down if you need to, come back when you're ready. I got so excited when the boxes arrived and I opened them up and spread everything out right away. So I can't show you an unboxing right now, but that's fine because we're just going to skip to the good part. And actually, this is the best way to start. Lay out all the pieces before you even touch an Allen key. Every panel, every bracket, most of the hardware, spread it all out where you can see it. And I'm using just some bowls and some Tupperware containers to contain the hardware. The reason this is more important with this bookcase rather than the standard Billy bookcase is because the foldable table has wheels and brackets and pieces that I personally have never seen before. Having the pieces out in front of you helps. Having the different screws and different hardware pieces contained in a bowl also helps. Take a few minutes, look at everything, match the actual pieces of wood that you've got to the pictures in the booklet. Before we jump in, things I want to flag to make the whole process easier. First, grab your water bottle. Grab it now, fill it up, put it on the floor next to you, not on a table in the kitchen, not on the shelves across the room, but right next to you so that when you have to move it, you can take a quick gulp. I'm using my leak-proof water bottle because I am going to kick it over. I know that's going to happen. Assembly is more physical than it looks, and if you are managing a chronic illness or a brain injury, dehydration will catch up with you faster than you think. I want to flag for you that this is not going to work well on carpet. The table mechanism has wheels that need smooth surface to work properly. Hardwood, laminate, tile, you're fine. But if you're planning on putting this onto carpet, the table feature is going to be a frustration every time you try to use it. Glasses on so that I can see what I'm doing, and let's go. First thing I'm going to do is take the booklet and rip out the page with the hardware on it. So on one side it has the number 1, and on the other side it has the number 2. That's because there are 2 bags of hardware. One labeled number 1, the other labeled number 2. Since we start with bag 1, I'm only opening bag number 1, and I'm going to sort through all of the little bits and pieces in that bag. I'm just using little containers I had in the kitchen. These can go in my dishwasher once I'm done. I've got 1 big wheel contraption, 2 of this wheel, 2 of this wheel, 2 of these, and then 4 hinges that are in the box that aren't on any of my lists. And that's okay. Just in case you weren't sure what you chose at the store, paid for at checkout, put into your car, unboxed, was on the front of the diagram. The back of the book is this. That's what we're building. So we're starting with the 3 boards that look really similar to each other. One of them has 4 holes at the top, 4 holes at the bottom. The other 2 have 2 holes at the top, 2 holes at the bottom, and then 2 smaller holes on the sides. We're going to start by taking the wooden dowels and bobbing them into the ends. For the board that I'm calling the 4x4 board, it's got these 4 holes. You're taking your wooden dowel and you're placing it into the center holes. So you can see that this one has 4 holes in the end, and you're putting the 2 dowels in this 2 center holes. And then we're going to flip it and do the same thing on the opposite side. If you're not sure where to put the dowels, which of the 2 holes, just remember the hole that is lined up with the bigger hole underneath is where the screw needs to go so that it can be locked into place. Okay, so now we've got 2 plus 2, and then I've turned this one onto its side, and again, there are 4 2 plus 2 holes on the side, and I'm putting the wooden dowel into the 2 holes that are closer to the middle. So not the end holes, but again, the 2 that are closer to the middle. And flip, and again. I just thought, I'm done step 1. I'm not done step 1, I'm done 1 board of step 1. The other boards, they've got 2 and 2. I'm grabbing 2 more dowels, and these ones go on the outside holes. They actually go in the outside holes. Prepositions matter. Does this one have any on the sides? Nope. Excellent. So this one, you can see the dowel went on the outside and the outside on both ends. Putting that aside, rinse and repeat with the other board. There we go. In the far holes the dowels are in. Oh my gosh, we are so good. We are so good. We should build things professionally because holy crap are we talented. Okay, step 2. We are going to take both of the boards that had 2 holes. Okay, 2 holes on the top, 2 holes on the bottom. And we want to have the side of the board that has 2 different size holes on the side facing up. So what that's going to mean is that the board that had 2 holes up top and 2 holes really close to, kind of in line with those, is going to get flipped over. Okay, and the other board that has 2 holes and has the 2 holes on the side on each end is going to be facing upwards. And now we are taking 4 of these little guys. We are putting them into the smaller holes on both boards and then using a screwdriver to lightly tighten it. That little image there is telling us, don't break your boards, man. Do not break it before you've assembled it. We're coming up to the stage where we might need a second set of hands. The side that has the 4 holes on the top and the 4 holes on the bottom needs to face away from the other board, and we want the dowels to fit into the holes next to these long weird things, and the long weird things need to fit into the holes next to the dowels. So let's see, how's this going? That was step 3, and step 4 is I need another person. You know what I don't have right now is another person. And I'm going to say that that is fine. For step 4, I am taking the other one that I had been working on, and I am fitting it almost exactly the same way that I fit the other one. So I'm doing this slowly and pushing a little bit on one side and then a little bit on the other because I don't have a second person to help me put it in evenly. I get why IKEA tells you to have a second person. I just did it by myself. Yay. I am now flipping this whole thing so that the 2 sides are now holding up this other piece. The things that we screwed in earlier, you can see the top part of it poking out of 4 of the holes. What we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these little guys per hole. You make sure that this fits over the head of the screw that's in there. Be gentle, be finicky, get her in there. There we go. I'm going to do that 3 more times. And I know from IKEA experience, this is just going to be one little turn of the screwdriver, just a little tightening. And you can see, you see that little arrow? It's going to turn 180 degrees. Oh, so that was step 5. And now the booklet tells us to flip it over and move it out of the way because we are moving on to the next part. If you are low energy, if you are looking for a stopping point, if you just need a pee break, this is your opportunity to get off the highway, take a minute, and then come back because we're going to be moving on to step 6. Moving to these taller boards that have this schloopy cutout in them. And we are going to take these same screws and we are going to put them into the smaller holes on both of these boards. Again, lie the boards down. I wonder why. I keep on flipping back and forth between my flat head and my cross head. I don't know. Whatever this one is. I wonder why. Why does the screw need the little X guy and the screw cover needs the flat head? Okay, so now that I have all of the screws into those 2 pieces, I'm taking the piece that we started with, so the one that now has 3 sides, and I'm going to fit it into one of these 2 pieces that are lying on the floor. You're going to pick it up and carefully try to line up all of these pieces with all of these holes. Okay, this is where a second person would come in really handy. Oh! Guys, I did it! I just wiggled it a little bit like a wobbly tooth, and it slowly just clicked into place. This is amazing! Now we are taking this one long skinny piece, skinny. We are taking 2 of the dowels. We're putting them into this thing. And then I'm going to put this board at the bottom, fit it in just like this. The piece with the 3 sides that you just fitted in to the piece with the curvy side, all of those little screws need their safety caps on, or their securing caps, or whatever these guys are called. Pause, do that, and then jump back in. Okay, so here's where I'm at. We've got the long piece with the weird cutout on the floor. We've got the 3-sided thing that we started with on top, screwed in and locked down. We've got whatever this end board is. I don't know, and I don't care. It is in place. So now we're just going to pick up the other board with the weird cutout, and we're going to put it on top of this. I find it funny that they didn't say to have a buddy help with this part, just with the other part. It sounds worse than it is. I'm just using the flat of my hand to bang this down a bit. Guys, it looks like it's supposed to. Holy crap. So now, just like in all the other sections, these guys are getting locked down. Don't forget the ones inside. 5, 6, 7. I am of the generation where whenever I say 7, I picture Monica. Why do I have one more? Oh, the end. Ha ha. Okay, don't forget the back. We are ready to stand this guy up. If you look inside of this unit, there are 2 holes on either side at the back. We are going to take this guy, we are going to use 2 of the smaller screws, and we are going to put the screws closest to the foot, or whatever you want to call this thing, and then screw them in underneath the cabinet. I'm not sure if you had a dad who told you how to build things like mine did, but something my dad taught me was to not tighten things all at once on one side and then all at once on the other. You need balance. So a little bit on this side, a little bit on that side, go back until it's even, so that you end up with it even. I'm sure physics, it makes sense, and I know it works. I have tightened things all on one side, and then when you try to bring the other side up, the screw gets wonky, things go bad. I don't understand why, but I do know that it works. So especially on this piece, 1 screw then the other, 1 screw then the other, balance it slowly. I'm taking these things, these plastic covers that have this little piece here, and that piece slides in up here. So all I gotta do is slide it along, and it just hangs there. Bag number 2, let's open it. Let's take a break first, okay? I took a look through the rest of the booklet, and it looks like a lot of the same steps over again, doing more with the dowels, more with the screws, put them together. So far we built the framework of the bookcase. Now we're building the table part, and then we put them together. So let's dive in. I'm opening up bag number 2. There's more stuff in bag number 2. Bag number 2 was smaller. Bag number 2 lied to us. We are on step 16, and spoiler alert, there are 5 boards that look really similar. I mean, so did all the other ones, but here we are. There are 2 boards like this. These boards have a weird cut out lip type thing at the bottom. They have a lot of holes throughout the whole thing. And then they've got two big holes on one end. And then the other one has it on the opposite end. Then we have a board that is 2 and 2 with 4 in the middle. And then we've got a board that is 2 and 2 with no 4 in the middle. We got this. There's also a board that has a long line down the side. Put this one aside for now. Take both of the boards that have 2 and 2. If you're following along in the IKEA booklet, you're only going to take one of these ones with the weird lip. Just like last time, we are taking the larger wooden dowels, so not the teeny tiny ones. There are 4 of the teeny tiny ones. Don't use them. And we are going to place the dowels into the holes on the end of the board, and they go in the holes on the outside of the board. And remember that if you're not sure where they go, don't line them up with this big hole. This one needs to be one of the screws, and you'll notice that this one has a finished edge, so obviously don't destroy your finished edge. And then we are going to be placing 5 screws into the board with all the holes. So where you see a pair of holes, you want to screw in the smaller hole that are lined up next to a larger hole. And then on the very bottom, you would like a screw into the middle of the 3 holes. We can see the pair, that's a pair, that's a pair, that's a pair, and then the 3 on the bottom have one in the middle. We'll tighten those down. And then just like before, we are going to line these up and slide them in. Before you push them down and fit them together, you want to make sure you have your finished edges all facing in the same direction. And you want to make sure that you have these holes, these big cutouts, facing the 2 plus 2 plus 3 holes are. So it looks like this. You want the holes facing towards this big cluster of screws. It does matter which board goes where. Not only do you want for the holes to be facing downwards, but you also want to make sure that the board with the 4 little extra holes here is on the bottom, so closer to where the cluster of screws is. So really it's 1 extra screw, but screw it. If you put them in the wrong way, you're going to end up with uneven boards. You want the side to be kind of flush. Good job, us. It is time to take out the baby wooden dowels and put them into this next long skinny board on either end. Okay, we are getting into the hardware. Let's move this piece aside. We are taking this piece that we just put the 4 little wooden dowels into, and we are grabbing these 2 wheels. And the wheels are going to go on the side not with the hole. We've got these 4 big old screws, and we are going to attach the wheels using the big screws. Step 21 is to place it into this 3-sided piece that we just built. We're going to use some of the little fasteners for the screws that we just put together. So there's 1 holding the piece with the wheels, and then there's 2 on each of the shelves. I was really afraid at the start of this that I was overshooting and that I wouldn't be able to accomplish this in 1 day. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish it on my own at all, honestly. And we're so close. We're so close. It's going to get done today and by myself. At this point, I will say, I wish that I had put the screw caps on before putting the piece with the wheels on, because one of them is a pain in the butt. The one that's right next to the piece with the wheels is kind of a nightmare to tighten. Not the end of the world, but just learn from my mistakes. Guys, it's time to jump back to the board with the lippy thing that has a bunch of screw holes. Because I have a brain injury and I get forgetful, I wanted to follow the steps in the booklet step by step by step. realistically, if I didn't want to switch my drill head from a flat head to cross stitch is the wrong word, but if I didn't want to switch my drill head, I could have put the screws into this piece when I was doing all the other ones. I didn't because I'm following the steps, but if your brain is fine and you can handle it, go for it. And just like the last one, we're taking the screws, we're finding the pairs, we're putting the screw into the smaller hole, and then we're finding the trio at the bottom and putting the screw into the middle. And now, just like last time, we are taking this and putting it on top of the thing that we just created that is on its side. Okay. Low and slow, just line up the holes. There we go. Instead of pushing here where the shelf is and here where the shelf is, I pushed down here and the whole thing tilted. Hashtag physics. Let's flip the page and see what's next. Oh, it's all coming together now. So, can you guess what's next? Can you? It's more of these little guys. Fasten down all of the screws. Okay, for step 26, we are flipping this over so that the raw edges are facing us. And we are going to take the thin piece of particle board and we are going to open it up because it folds open. All we're going to do is line up the holes. There are holes here in the exposed raw edges, and there are holes in this board. We are lining them up. Next to the other wheel, you're going to take one of these extra wheels, or other wheels, and you're going to fasten it down. So on the other side, where there's already one wheel, you're going to put the other wheel, and that little ledge is going to get screwed down. We are going to use the plastic thingies with the holes in them and then cover it with one of the plastic thingies without a hole in it. And I am not even using a tool. For the complexity of this piece, like it's not just a bookshelf, it has wheels and a rollout feature, so I'm pretty impressed by us. Oh, everything is where it's supposed to be. That's amazing. Take this wheel that's on a big arm, and on the bottom, where all the other wheels are, the wheel should be like out. So not tucked in under the cabinet. I'm using the 4 small screws and I am affixing it like this so that the leg is sticking out. You got this? I got this. We got this. We can do this. It is awkward, but not impossible. So it looks like the leg will spin out of the way. So you need one hand to hold the leg out of the way, and you need one hand to hold the screw, and you need one hand to hold the drill. So God bless us all. Okay, we move on to number 31. We've got the big piece now. We're going to lie it down flat on the floor with the holes facing up, because one side has holes, one side does not. Both sides have 4 holes drilled into the board. Only 2 sets of the 4 will fit these wheels. If you put this down and you think, oh my gosh, the holes are drilled in the wrong place, welcome to my world. Try the other side. And we're going to use the small silver screws to screw these guys down, and the wheels should hang just off the side of the board. We are now taking the hinges and attaching them to this big old piece. They are going to also attach to the smaller shelf, the smaller piece of wood. If you put the 2 shelves next to each other, you want these 2 sets of 4 to be right next to each other. And then we're going to take the hinges, open them up, and they're going to go just like that. And we're going to screw them on using these little screws. So let's go. That is 33. We are on to 34. Step 34 is going to be the last of these screws, and you can see we've got next to the hinges a set of 2 circles, and then below that another set of 2 circles on both sides. And again, we are going to put the screw into the smaller of the 2 holes. And there is a caution note in the booklet: don't pinch your fingers in the hinges. I haven't tried to pick up the hinges yet, so I haven't pinched my fingers yet. Hopefully I will avoid it. The little wheels that we just installed on this large board are going to hook into the weird cutout sections. So let me move things around so you can visualize this a bit better. This is the big piece that we built. It's got the little cutouts in the edges. So the wheelie bits are going to go into these 2 grooves, and then the smaller piece with all the wheels is going to come in here. I'm using this roller part to balance the tabletop on just while I get it locked into place. Be careful not to pinch your fingers. These wheels need to fit into the grooves here. I've got 1 wheel in. The 2 wheels are in where they should be. So now that that's locked in, I'm grabbing the last of the wooden dowels and putting them into the 4 holes next to the screws. That is something that I wish I had done while it was still flat on the floor. So you're going to pull it up and things in line. Oh my gosh. Wow. Look at that. Okay, finishing pieces. I need to put the last 4 screw covers on, but other than that, it is a functioning unit, and it looks really good, guys. Look at us go! Guys, I am really proud of this. Look, look. To extend the table, you just pull. And it clicks into place. And then when you're ready to collapse it, you do need to lift the table a little bit to release, and then it'll just slide down. I think that I could comfortably have 2 people here and use it as a table even, like a kitchen table. Oh, that's so achievable. We did it, guys. Oh, thank you for sticking with me. A few things I want to mention before we wrap this up. This was achievable solo with a brain injury. It took me all day because I needed breaks. I needed water breaks. I needed snack breaks. At one point, the camera battery died, and I sat down for a second just to swap batteries, and my cat curled up on my lap, and I fell asleep, which is fine. I obviously needed it, but it's achievable. If you have someone who can help, even just for 20 minutes, I would take them up on it. I think that last part, trying to get the hinged piece in place and then connect it to the rolling part on wheels, was the most difficult and heavy part for me. So if you have a friend who you can use for 20 minutes, that's the point I would make use of them. But you could do it on your own, and you could do it with a friend. Like, having help throughout the whole thing, that would have been fine too. The table surface holds up to 55 pounds. So for me, I'm going to be eating on that. I am going to be doing puzzles. I am going to be playing card games. All those things will be fine. If you are looking for something for a heavier craft project, for I don't know, if you have machinery, something heavy to put on your table, this is not the table for you. 55 pounds is a lot of weight, and for what I'm using it for, it is perfect. If you're watching this because you bought the unit and couldn't find an assembly video, I hope it helped. That's why I was making this video. My words are starting to moosh together because this was cognitively challenging. If you have a chronic illness, if you have a brain injury, fatigue, low energy, or you're just having a really hard week, I would like for you to know something. You did a hard thing. You figured it out. You took breaks, you took your time, and you made it happen. That matters. Not just for a bookcase, but for everything. This is a handy little piece. It is going to mean that I don't have to clean off my kitchen table if I want to do an activity. I am really liking it. I hope you enjoy your piece as well. If this video was useful, if you are recommending to a friend to buy the Billy bookcase with the folding table, maybe share this. Make their job a little bit easier too. And remember that slow and steady is not a limitation, it's wisdom. You are not alone in trying to do hard things slowly.